Alright. This is a cabinet which I realize is facing the wrong way. There. Okay. This is a cute cabinet. It's got this knob is coming off, but the tiny tray there. A drawer, the door for the original oil can. And I have had this machine open and checked it before I got the camera out, but it's got this folding lid here that should drop down if it wasn't sitting on my garbage can. And the machine in this cabinet is a 101 4, I believe, because I went looking and a 101 12, the other model for the manual with this machine, is going to be a cast aluminum portable. So anyhow, this machine has been used heavily. Partially, I know that because it's got this clamshell cord on it, or controller on it, and the knee controller is still inside the machine. And when I peered up underneath, it's got a pretty butchered up wiring setup on it, so it's gonna have to get rewired. But the tensioner here too is pretty filthy, so I'm gonna just pull all these pieces off and get those in the sonic cleaner right away. And then I think this has a dial here for stitch length, and I don't think it has reverse. I've never seen the 101 before. But let's see, first things first, set these, throw this stuff in a jar. And get this machine out of the cabinet so we can put it on the bench. Back here and reach in and hit these screws. There we go. Now, alright, I'll have to figure out where those wires are underneath, huh? Well, you know I'm gonna have to rewire this anyway, so let's just cut them off. And we'll cut the light wires off too. Alright. And then I'll have to get into the cabinet and figure out what the cabinet is up to in a bit, but first let's get that over to the bench and take a look. Alright, on the bench here. This machine is going to get completely stripped down, and I'm just going to put everything in the sonic cleaner to get it as clean as we can go. This is a straight stitch only machine, and the sprung door here, and then that bumper helps hold the bobbin in place. In a rotary hook, it looks like. So we'll just drop our and get our little thread cutter off of there, and now we'll loosen the needle plate. And these screws on the needle plate are packed with filth, so those definitely need to get cleaned. I guess I haven't even plugged this in to see if it ran, so, but the motor on this is old enough that I'd want to take it apart and check it over first anyway, so we'll get into that when we get a chance. And someone wasn't cleaning under the feed dogs properly. There is a ridiculously fat amount of felt under here, so that's definitely making the machine work harder than it has to. Looks like there's two screws on the edge of the hook, and there's also a large single screw holding the feed dog in place, so I'll get that off of there, and then the feed dog can get cleaned and get out of the way. That was just stuck on with goo, and you can see all the horrible lint on there, so we'll definitely need to now is this. Nope, the screwdriver's not narrow enough to get into. I'm gonna have to find a narrow bit for these two screws in here. So we'll just take a moment to pop our end cover off instead. Let's see. Mechanically looks okay in there. Alright, this is going to be a set screw from the other side. This is an old enough machine that the set screw comes in to hold the tensioner post from this hole here. And that should be should be the right size for this bit. All of that loosened. A little wiggle here and that pops out so that we can get that cleaned out. Alright. And then, since it's easy to do, we'll pop this off and throw it in the bucket for cleaning. Let's see now. Get our hand wheel. There we go. Our tiny set screw off, and then, oh, that's a interesting key washer for this. I guess I don't know how to get this hand wheel to pop off of here. Should be loose now, but well, let's see. Well, whatever that clutch did, it isn't spinning the motor. And I don't know, I'll have to, I guess, look up an adjuster's guide. A lot of those Singer adjuster guides are available, so I should be able to find the one for this motor and figure out how that comes out. But we'll pop the light off the back here while we're at it, because that light is going to need fresh wiring. It's got a pull lock in there. You stick that in and then this spins in and clamps down. Interesting. Alright, well, put that off and set aside, and take this pin cushion off the machine. go. All right. Let's see. I guess I need to find myself a tiny bit for the edge of the hook here. Alright. I removed the 2 screws that were on the edge of the hook here. And I used a hairdryer and some pea blaster, and it's kind of chilly out in the garage here, so even though this part is barely warm on my fingers, it's foaming, or rather making steam or vapor because of the cold air. And here's the bobbin case, and that is pretty cruddy. I'm gonna run it through the sonic cleaner once assembled, and then after it's been cleaned once, I will disassemble it and get all the screws out and run it through again. So but I find that if you run it through the first time and get most of the goo off the outside, then the screws are usually a lot easier to get out for a better cleaning. And this machine is pretty darn filthy. But all those parts are out and able to go through the cleaner, which is important and good.